Sha'Carri Richardson has finally won her gold medal. So let's talk about her astrology, the astrology from 2021 when she got suspended, and the gold medal winning astrology of 2024. Now, we don't have her exact birth time, so we're looking at the chart for 12 noon that day in Dallas, where she was born. This is an average position of the planets over the course of the day. And even though it's not her exact birth time, the story that is playing out in this chart is very, very similar to the story that we see playing out in Sha'Carri's life. So I think this could actually be close to her birth time, even though we're not sure. The first thing I notice is that she's an Aries sun. The sun exalts in Aries. The sun rules strength and perseverance, and Aries rules over competition, being quick, being the first to start, first to finish. People with sun in Aries are typically go-getters and they're winners. They don't lose very often. In this chart, the Aries sun is intercepted in the 10th house. The 10th house represents our legacy, our long-lasting impact that we leave on the world, and our very public reputation. So Aries sun in the 10th house is someone who has the opportunity to make a name for themselves, form their legacy through competitive sports or some sort of competition. An interception can talk about energy that gets blocked and isn't able to express itself freely. Aries sun intercepted in the 10th house is her not being able to go to the Olympics because of the failed drug test. That 10th house was intercepted by her Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn in 1, 7, and 14 degrees of Taurus, respectively. Mars is the ruler of Aries and is the athlete, the competitor. Jupiter represents all global affairs, international relationships, including the Olympics. Zeus, or Jupiter, is the god of the Olympic gods, the king of the Olympic gods. And then Saturn represents regulations and rules, restrictions. Jupiter is also the traditional ruler of Pisces and rules over all drug and alcohol use, including marijuana use. So her legacy, her reputation, the ability to make a name for herself was literally blocked by her weed use and the restrictions against that weed use. Now, the second outer wheel, we're looking at the transits from July of 2021, the day that she accepted her suspension. The moon was transiting Aries and conjoining Chiron, highlighting her legacy and reputation, but specifically highlighting the interception or blockage of that legacy. We also had a double Saturn-Uranus conjunction where the transiting Uranus was conjoining her natal Saturn, and the transiting Saturn in Aquarius was conjoining her natal Uranus in Aquarius. Uranus represents the rebel, the rule breaker. Saturn is the one who maintains the rules and order and imposes punishment or restrictions for those who break the rule. Having Saturn touch her Uranus and Uranus touch her Saturn at the same time is very much reading, you broke the rules and now you have to pay the consequence. That was also the day that the South Node was in 10 degrees of Sagittarius, perfectly conjoining her natal moon. Ketu, or the South Node, draws us back into toxic cycles, forcing us to repeat them until we learn our lesson. This is an example of Sha'Carri being pulled back into toxic cycles and it preventing her from stepping forward into the North Node, or your fate or destiny, which her fate, her destiny was to be a gold medal Olympian. And this was not the moment to move forward with that destiny. Another thing I noticed about her chart is she has Mercury in Pisces. Mercury exalts and domiciles in Virgo, the opposite sign. So in Pisces, Mercury is fallen and in its detriment. It is like the worst position a planet can be. Mercury rules clear thinking, sobriety, and abstinence from drugs and alcohol. Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter, is the sign that rules drug use. And Mercury in Pisces talks about not thinking clearly and mind fog as a result of substance use. The moment of her suspension, Jupiter was in Pisces in its home sign, stationed retrograde. This is the time to put the weed down. If you want to go to the Olympics, you cannot be smoking weed. Don't worry, if you have an interception in your chart, it does not mean your energy is going to be blocked forever. You can work on unblocking interceptions by looking at the whole sign version of your chart, in which every zodiac sign has an area of life that it can be expressed. Looking at her whole sign chart, or the whole sign chart from 12 noon, the day she was born, you can see that the sun in Aries in the 10th house is not intercepted, meaning there is an opportunity for legacy notoriety as a result of good sportsmanship and competition. So here is the chart from August 9th, the day that she won her gold medal. We see the North Node, remember that's that destiny, that fate that we're meant to walk into, conjunct her Aries sun in this 10th house. She is finally stepping forward into her destiny as a gold medal Olympic athlete. We also had the sun in Leo in 17 degrees, which is a Leo degree associated with long lasting fame and recognition, and Leo being the sign that rules gold. The sun in its home sign of Leo is the planet that rules gold. 17-degree Leo sun is the energy of a gold medal. Even this sun symbol is kind of reminiscent of the Paris Olympic medals, with that little dot in the middle being like the Eiffel Tower piece. Another thing I noticed, we already talked about how Sha'Carri has Mars conjunct Jupiter in her natal birth chart. The day that she won the gold medal, Mars is conjunct Jupiter in Gemini. It's a different sign, but it is the same conjunction, and it is representative of international athletic competition, the Olympics. Obviously, the Olympics happen when they happen, but this is really good astrology for an Olympic Games. Paris really fucked that up. And another really cool transit that I noticed is that we have Ceres retrograde in Capricorn, which is getting ready to conjoin her Vesta in Capricorn. Vesta, also known as the Virgin, is the asteroid that talks about abstinence, abstaining from anything, including marijuana use. Ceres, named for the goddess of harvest and agriculture, is the asteroid that talks about reaping the rewards from your harvest, putting in hard work, and finally getting a payout. When Ceres is retrograde, it can talk about long overdue payouts or harvests, rewards for your hard work that should have been a long time ago. I think Ceres retrograde transiting over her natal Vesta is very much delayed rewards for finally abstaining in order to qualify for the Olympics. Let me say this, watching that clip of her do that side eye right before she hit the finish line made me proud to be an American. You go, Sha'Carri. Cheers to you.